The law of attraction. Let's talk about it. Our lives move in the direction of our dominant thoughts. Therefore, if our words or our primary thoughts are negative, we must choose to correct that imbalance. You see, we're more powerful than we know. We're creators. We create with every thought. We create or attract the things, the events, and the people who come into our lives. Our thoughts, our feelings, our words, and actions all produce energy, and they attract like energy because everything is made of energy. Therefore, think and speak positive always. Inner thoughts and emotions determine the level which one vibrates. What's hidden within will dictate what you see on the outside. The law of attraction is frustrating to many because what they don't realize is that what is delivered to the sender, that being you, is what's built from within you. So we must carefully monitor what's being fed into our mind. If our mind fears poverty, our mind will attract poverty. If our mind demands opulence and expects it, our mind will attract the physical and financial equivalents of opulence or prosperity. In order to attract what we want, we must first release that which no longer belongs, no longer serves us any good. And we begin that process by honoring and loving our humanness. Know that our imperfect humanness is actually perfect. So release, let go of harsh judgment about yourself or the need to be perfect by some external standard. Our imperfections, they're not mistakes, they're opportunities. There's tremendous beauty and growth to experience at each moment throughout our lives. I often talk about remember who you are. That's the process of being restored back to love, moment to moment. It's the process of reconnecting with God. It's recognizing and embracing all parts of you and who you are. Those parts that you love, as well as the shadow areas that you don't love but are still under development. No, it's all perfect. You see, the part of you that is purely divine, your divinity, rejoices in your willingness to accept, love, and forgive the part of us that's deeply human. So that's why you don't judge yourself. Love yourself and know that you are perfect. And in doing so, the rift within is healed. The mind, body, and soul, that trifecta, become one. You become a vessel for the unified light. Now, while this is happening, we must also release certain emotions, especially those that are absolutely useless. Not only are they useless, but they're also extremely harmful. Dr. David Hawkins wrote on Power versus Force, The Hidden Determinants of Human Behavior. It's a great book, and it helps us to understand why we can no longer waste time and energy on emotions such as shame. Shame, shame, shame. And shame, we hang our heads and sink away, wishing we were invisible somehow. It's destructive to emotional and psychological health, and it makes us prone to physical illness. That's where diseases come from. These, stress, shame, things of that nature. Guilt. Guilt manifests itself in a variety of expressions such as remorse, self-recrimination, victimhood, and more. Unconscious guilt results in psychosomatic disease. Again, it's disease, accident proneness, and suicidal behavior. Guilt provokes rage, and frequently it's responsible for gross suffering and death. But once we begin to truly remember who we are, guilt becomes obsolete. Apathy. This emotion is characterized by poverty, despair, hopelessness. The world and the future look bleak. Apathy is that state of helplessness. Those who fall victim to apathy are needy in every way. Unless external assistance is somehow applied by a caregiver, a loved one, or something of that kind, death through passive suicide may result as a result of apathy. Grief. This is a level of sadness, loss, dependency. Those who live at this level of life of constant regret and depression have to be careful. Now, this is the level of mourning, bereavement, remorse about the past. In grief, you tend to see sadness everywhere. This level covers one's entire life of existence. Now, I'm not saying you should never grieve, but you shouldn't stay there for long periods. And fear. From this viewpoint, from the viewpoint of fear, the world looks hazardous. It looks like it's full of traps, threats. It's out to get you. Once fear becomes a focus, there's a barrage of endless, worrisome events of the world that feed it. Fear becomes obsessive. Fear limits our growth of personality. It leads to inhibition because it takes energy, great energy, to rise above fear. And the oppressed are unable to reach a higher level, again, unless some external source aids them in doing so. Anger, it's right up there with fear. This emotion expresses itself most often as resentment and revenge, and is therefore volatile. It's dangerous. Anger leads easily to hatred, which has an erosion effect on all areas of our life. Your energy doesn't belong with any of the aforementioned emotions. They're dangerous, they're obsolete. The law of attraction provides that projection, what we project, makes perception. The world you see is what you gave it, nothing more than that. But though it's no more than that, it's also no less. Therefore, to you, it's extremely important. It's my world. It's the witness to your state of mind, the outside picture of what's going on inside of you. A person thinketh, so do they perceive. Therefore, seek not to change the world, but instead choose to change your mind about the world. The power to create and give joy and love lies with you. Mighty Spirit, thy will be done. I am at peace. As always, thank you.